It's a really warm day in February. It's time to go get these seed-started onions in the ground. I also picked up some red onion sets from the feed store, but my space wasn't ready, so I just plopped them in a little soil to keep them nice and ready to plant. So we're going to plant these as well as the Texas Grano that I started from seed. We're going to get those in the ground today. While you can just eyeball planting onions, I have this handy little template that we made for my cut flowers that staggers 6 inches apart, which allows me to get way more in a bed. So I'm going to use my template for my onions just like I used it for my garlic. Speaking of, let's take a peek at those. Current situation of the garlic bed. Even though this is a new composted bed and is rich, I'm still going to add an all-purpose plant tone that also has some mycorrhizae in it to get my onions off to a good start. We want our onions to grow nice green tops at first because that's going to fuel the bulbs later in the season when we might just add a little bone meal to help them bulb. Usually what I'll do is just dump these out. So after we dump them out, we've got all these roots that are on the bottom. And so this is his potting mix, so it comes apart really easily. And then they'll just pull apart as singles. Well, while some of these are small, in my past experience, these seed-started onions that I'm putting in the ground alive with roots and not dormant end up bulbing up just as big as the larger onion sets I get from the feed store. Just take another clump. You just wiggle them loose. Because this is potting soil, they come apart really easily. There's some decent sized ones. Because these already have roots, I found they just take off faster than my onion sets. I'm going to show you what I did with my feed store onion sets because my garden wasn't ready yet. Because we moved, I put them in some potting mix, and you buy them, they don't have roots, but mine have roots. So even though I didn't get these in the ground like a lot of people in my area did in November or December, mine have roots already. So they've already got a little bit of a head start. Whereas if I planted them when I first got them, they didn't have any roots on them. And so these are a little bit harder to get apart because they are so squished together. And as you see, some of theirs are the same size as mine. Some of them are larger. This is a red sweet onion. I probably should have separated them before I just crammed them in some dirt because they're real close together. But as you can see, now my onion sets from the feed store have roots, so I don't feel like I'm behind in not getting them in the ground yet. We're also expecting rain for the next week and much colder temperatures, so that'll give them time to kind of get settled with the roots they have. And we'll see how it goes come June.